All right, ready for a deep dive. Today, we're talking about something you probably don't think about too much. Dirt.
Or, as we like to call it, soil.
Right, right. Soil, dirt, that brown stuff under our feet. But before you tune out, think about this. This isn't just any dirt we're talking about. It's the foundation of, well, almost everything. Our food, the environment. It's all connected to the amazing world of, you guessed it, organic matter.
And to help us dig into this, we're tapping into some seriously cool research from the folks over at Pharma.
These guys are like the tech wizards of farming. I mean, they're using satellites to analyze soil.
Yeah,
Satellites.
it's pretty wild. They can tell you if a field needs a boost, all from space.
So we know Pharma knows their stuff. But before we get too far, what exactly are we talking about when we say organic matter? Is it just like old leaves and leftover veggie scraps?
It's a little more complex than that. Imagine everything in the soil that's alive or was once alive.
Mm-hmm.
Decomposed plants, roots, even tiny microorganisms like bacteria.
So it's like a whole hidden world down there.
Totally. And it's constantly changing, breaking down, and rebuilding itself. Think about it. When leaves fall from trees in autumn, they don't just sit there, do they?
Well, I guess they get crunchy and kind of disappear by spring.
Exactly. Tiny creatures, microbes, fungi, they're all munching away on that stuff, breaking it down into nutrients that feed the soil.
Okay, so it's not just dirt. It's this whole cycle of life and decomposition happening beneath our feet. But what makes it so important? Why should we care about what's going on down there?
Remember that whole bank account idea from the Pharmanaut article?
Yeah, they said organic matter is like a savings account for soil.
And that's not just a catchy phrase. It's true. The more organic matter in the soil, the healthier it is, and the more it can support plant life.
And healthier plants mean.
Healthier food for us.
Yeah,
And not just the amount of food, but the quality. It's all connected.
this is already blowing my mind and we're just getting started.
It's like imagine trying to run a car without gas, or, I don't know, use your phone without charging it.
Okay, I get it. Soil needs organic matter. Like, we need, well, everything.
That's a good way to put it. And when soil is depleted, farmers often turn to things like synthetic fertilizers to try and make up the difference.
Which I'm guessing isn't ideal.
It's kind of a Band-Aid solution.
Yeah.
Not only can those fertilizers have negative environmental impacts, but they don't address the root problem,
Which is?
the need for healthy, balanced soil with plenty of organic matter. Think about it. Soil with a lot of organic matter, it acts like a giant
A
sponge.
sponge.
Yeah, it holds water so much better, prevents runoff and erosion, helps regulate temperature. It's pretty amazing.
This is like natural water management.
Exactly. And all that carbon that was once in the atmosphere locked up in plants. Organic matter helps store it in the soil, which is a major player in fighting climate change.
So we're talking about food security, water conservation, and fighting climate change. All thanks to dirt.
It's all connected.
Yeah.
And this is where Pharmanaut's work is so revolutionary. They're not just telling us how important organic matter is, they're actually measuring it. From space,
I'm still wrapping my head around that. How can they see what's in the soil from all the way up there?
light. Different things reflect light differently, right?
Okay.
Well, by analyzing the light reflecting back from Earth, their satellites can detect variations in the soil, including how much organic matter is present.
So they can look at a field from space and be like, needs more organic matter. That's incredible. But what can a farmer actually do with that information? Can they just order more organic matter online or something?
Not quite. But that's where the practical advice from the Pharmanaut article comes in. It all starts with things like crop rotation.
Switching up what you plant each season.
Exactly. Planting different crops, especially cover crops with deep roots, helps add different types of organic matter to the soil. It's like giving the soil a more balanced diet.
That makes sense. What else?
They also talked about reducing tillage.
Tillage. That's all the plowing and turning over the soil, right?
Right. And while it's sometimes necessary, too much tillage can disrupt the soil structure and lead to a loss of organic matter. It's like imagine constantly shaking up a can of soda.
All the bubbles would escape.
Exactly. And those bubbles, in our soil analogy, are the good stuff we want to keep.
So less disturbance equals more organic matter.
You got it. And another simple thing, leaving crop residues on the field after harvest.
Instead of clearing everything away.
Yep. It might look messy, but it's like tucking the soil in with a nutrient-rich blanket. Plus, it helps prevent erosion.
So it's all about working with nature, not against it. But how does Pharmanaut's technology actually help farmers do this on a larger scale?
Imagine having a detailed map of your fields, showing you exactly where you need to focus your efforts. That's what Pharma provides.
It's like personalized soil advice from space.
Pretty much. They empower farmers to make more informed decisions about how they manage their land, which ultimately leads to healthier soil, healthier crops, and a healthier planet.
So, with Pharma's tech, farmers can really see the big picture and make changes that benefit everyone. But what about those of us who just have a backyard garden? Can we use this knowledge too?
Absolutely. Even if all you have is a few pots on your balcony, understanding organic matter can make a huge difference. The principles are the same, no matter how much space you're working with.
So where do we start? Do we need like a mini satellite for our tomatoes?
Not quite. But just like those satellites give farmers a detailed look at their fields, a soil test can give you a snapshot of what's going on in your garden.
Ah, so it tells you how much organic matter you're working with.
Exactly. And what nutrients might be lacking. It's like a blood test for your soil, giving you personalized recommendations for what it needs to thrive.
So I can see if my soil needs a compost boost or maybe some mulch.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It takes the guesswork out of gardening and helps you make informed decisions based on, well, science.
I like it. Working with nature, not just throwing stuff at my plants and hoping for the best. I'm feeling inspired, but I also have to admit it's a little overwhelming. There's so much to learn about soil.
Oh, definitely. It's a lifelong journey, but that's part of the fun. There's always something new to discover about the world beneath our feet.
It's amazing how much we depend on the stuff we call dirt.
It really is.
Hmm.
And it's not just about what we can get from it, but about taking care of it for future generations. That's what this whole deep dive comes down to. Valuing and investing in healthy soil.
Playing the long game for our food, our environment, the whole planet, really.
Exactly. And who knows, maybe one day soon we'll all have access to the kind of technology Pharma is developing. Imagine the possibilities.
I'm already picturing a whole new generation of tech-savvy gardeners out there. But for now, I think it's time for me to put down the microphone and pick up a trowel. Get my hands a little dirty, you know.
There you go. That's what it's all about.
So, to all our listeners out there, we leave you with this. When was the last time you really connected with the soil in your own backyard or even that houseplant on your windowsill? Take a moment to appreciate the intricate world beneath the surface, and hey, maybe even get your hands a little dirty. You might be surprised by what you discover, and if you do decide to dig a little deeper, let us know. We'd love to hear about your adventures in the world of organic matter. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep those questions coming.